what we have seen is what is stress tensor, what is strain tensor, what are the independent components of a stress tensor, what is its size. Then we tried to look at the constitutive relationship, where I said the stress is related to strain through a matrix. Stress tensor is related to a strain tensor through a matrix, which is called as constitutive matrix, and it has a size of 6 by 6 in general if principle of complementary shears is valid. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So at that junction, logically, the next step is to tell you what is the constitutive relationship for various cases, like a generalized case, then a case of plane stress problem, plane strain problem. Then we can talk about what is the effect of material being isotropic on that constitutive matrix. All the If the material is orthotropic, that means it has three mutually orthogonal planes of symmetry. Then what happens? All these things are logically the next in line. Then we should talk about strain displacement relationship. How do we relate strains with displacements, so on and so forth. But uh, let us break the monotony. Today we will start with a new concept. We will resume to the discussion that we were doing on stress and strain tensors little later, in continuation with this concept. So today we are going to start our discussion with concept of potential energy and strain energy. It's a new topic, so therefore it will break the monotony. The classes will have some liveliness. So let us begin with this topic. Are you with me, Anuja?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And before I define what do we mean by potential energy and strain energy, even before that, we are going to take a digress and we are going to solve a seemingly unrelated problem. But you will understand how it is related to concept of potential energy and strain energy at the end of the discussion. So we are going to start with a digress. We are considering a simply supported beam of 4 meter span, and let us have some numbers because it is always inconvenient to work with letters. So therefore, I have not said the span is L. Instead of that, I am taking a specific example where the span is 4 meter and the intensity of uniformly distributed load acting downwards on this entire span of beam AB is 10 kilonewton per meter. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we have to find out uh, equation of its deflected shape. So can you tell me how will you go ahead with that task?
So we
Yes,
can
sir.
find out the reactions, first of all, and
Okay.
then we can calculate the
So
moment
let us
about A.
do that. So I found out the reactions. So as there is a loading symmetry, support conditions are symmetric, everything is symmetric. So therefore reactions are going to be 20-20 each. Do you agree?
2020.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So done. We have found out the reaction. This is where the applied mechanics comes into the picture. Next,
So then we'll be calculating summation of moments about A,
for
taking
what?
all the um. So to find out no, it's already done. We have got the reactions as well.
Yes.
Okay, so then we can calculate the maximum moment onto the span, and as it is, so it will be at the mid span, sir.
No,
So
what
we
is the
can find the
what?
bending
No,
moment.
no. What did I ask you to find? What was the focus? क्या करना है? Did I ask you to draw SFD and DMD? No.
No, sir.
What was the focus? To find out equation of deflected shape. Do you agree with me?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Equation of deflected shape. Deflected shape. So what is the meaning of equation of deflected shape? So let me show that here so that you will understand what I am trying to say. This beam is going to deform in this fashion. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So by equation of deflected shape, what I mean is I need to know y as a function of x. Are you with me? Y of
Yes,
x.
sir.
It is not y into x, mind you. It is y of x. X is the argument of a function y, which is dependent on x. So I go on changing x, the value of vertical deformation y is going to change. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I want to find out this equation, y as a function of x. So how do I go about it? Chalo, batao.
So we can derivate it
And
with respect to length.
and
Um,
Chalo. So of course we are dealing with this problem in linear elastic zone. So can you tell me bending formula? चलो bending formula बताओ क्या है?
So uh, the bending moment of it, no? WL square by 8.
No. Bending formula
Okay.
sigma by y
हाँ, right.
is equal to
Sigma
m
by
by
into M by I,
is equal to
E by R.
E by R. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So in this we are going to consider only last two terms. Why? Soon you will understand that. Now, what is 1 over R? Can you tell me what is 1 over R? What is R in the first place? So
So radius.
उसके लिए जरा समझ लेते हैं. Is this bending moment M function of X?
Yes, sir.
So therefore I understand that this M is a function of X. So I'm going to write it as M of X. As you go on changing X, the bending moment is going to change at that location. Mind you, it is not M into X. X is the argument of a function M. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then upon I is not function of X. I am considering a prismatic beam. चलो prismatic का मतलब बताओ मुझे. What do you mean by prismatic? Yes, go ahead Anuja.
So it has all the properties, like
No, everything has all the properties. What do you mean by prismatic? तो prismatic beam जब मैं बोलता हूं तो इसका मतलब ये होता है along the length of the beam the shape
okay,
and size of the cross section does not change.
okay.
Are you with me? मतलब
Yes, sir.
सिर्फ shape बोल के नहीं चलेगा. The cross section may remain rectangular but it may be a tapering cross section. It may be a tapering along the length. Do you agree with me?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
तो वो prismatic नहीं हुआ. Shape and size both cross sectional dimensions as well as shapes should remain preserved along the length. Then I call that beam as prismatic. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So क्या क्या होना है? Shape and size of what? Of cross section is not a function of length. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Not function of length. ऐसे अगर हो तो उस मेंबर को हम बोलेंगे prismatic member. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So if the beam is prismatic, cross-sectional shape and dimensions are not going to change. So how will I change with reference to X? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I won't change. So therefore, I is not a function of X. So I have not written I of X. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I am considering a particular case. I am aware that in reality there may be beams where they are not prismatic. So in that case, I will have to write I of X. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then what about E? E
So
is a material property.
yes, sir.
And we assume that the beam is homogeneous. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the meaning of homogeneous beam? If I pick up any two molecules anywhere in the beam, they are going to have exactly the same properties.
Same properties.
So
Yes, sir.
therefore E is also not a function of X.
Yes, sir.
E is also a constant with reference to X. What is R?
Radius of gyration.
अरे रेडियस ऑफ गायरेशन कहाँ आया यहाँ पे? R is not radius of gyration. So let us understand what this R is. तो अब जरा देखो, on this deformed shape, at X, I am considering this deformed position of this point. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now what I am going to do is, I am going to, along with this point, I am going to consider two neighboring points to it. क्या करने वाला हूं मैं? Two neighboring points को consider करने वाला. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
These 3 points in undeformed shape are collinear. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Undeformed shape में तो ये तीनों points collinear है. But what happens to them in deformed shape? Do they remain collinear or do they occupy a position along the curve?
So they occupy.
They occupy the position along the curve. So they are no longer collinear. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So now if you have 3 points in the plane which are non-collinear, how many circles can you pass through them? Tell me.
So infinite.
Are
Like
you are challenging the Euclidean geometry. If there are three non-collinear points in a single plane, you can pass only a unique circle through them.
unique. Yes, 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 sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
My drawing is not very good, but my concepts are. So
Okay.
if there are three non-collinear points in the plane, then you can pass only a unique circle through those 3 points. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अब ये 3 जो नॉन कोलिनियर पॉइंट्स है, क्या उसमें से मैं एक सर्कल पास कर सकता हूँ? Can
Yes,
I
sir.
pass a circle through these 3 points?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Can I locate its center? Yes, obviously. You
Yes.
apply all the geometrical concepts and locate its center. Can I find out its radius?
Yes, sir.
That radius is r.
Okay, radius of curvature.
हाँ, so इसको बोला जाता है radius of curvature. Radius of curvature बोल देता तो ये understanding नहीं आता, इसलिए मैंने
Okay,
word
sir.
directly use नहीं किया. Are you with me?
Okay.
So
Yes,
इसको
sir.
बोलते हैं radius of curvature. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, under this loading, can you tell me, is this beam going to bend along the arc of a circle or is it going to bend along the arc of a parabola? This
Arc
deformed
of.
shape you will understand is not necessarily circular. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Therefore, when I change this point, when I change this x, for example, if I consider x somewhere here, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is the point x. And if I consider two neighboring points, and if I pass a unique circle through them, it will have different radius. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
So what I mean to say is this r is now function of x.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And what is 1 upon r? 1 upon r by definition is curvature. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So now let me ask you a question. What is the curvature of a straight line? 0 should be 0.
0.
Right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
why we call it as straight line. Do you agree with me?
Yes, right.
So देखो, straight line, I consider a point on it. Two neighboring points, they are collinear. So if at all I were to pass a circle through it, it must have infinite radius. Do you agree
Yes.
with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, r equal to infinity. Are you with me? That is curvature
Yes, sir.
is 1 upon r is 0. That means curvature is 0 is straight line. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So even straight line can be looked upon as a curve which has infinite radius of curvature and 0 curvature. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So now what about a point? Point has radius equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Indicates it has infinite curvature. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So we have a point which has infinite curvature and 0 radius. We have a straight line which has infinite radius and 0 curvature. All the other curves will have the value of curvature in between 0 to infinity. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 1 upon r you have to understand here is a curvature. Now, can you tell me what is the expression for 1 upon r? How do I write 1 upon r? If you have a curve, what does your mathematics say? It is d square y upon dx square, second derivative of y with reference to x, divided by 1 plus dy by dx, the whole bracket square, raised to 3 by 2. Have you seen this formula before? I'm sure you have seen it in M1, M2 or NM3. Are you with me, Anuja?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is for small values of deformations, this denominator tends to 1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, 1 upon r tends to d square y by dx square
Dx square.
for small values of y. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And when we are saying the material is in linear elastic zone, we obviously mean that deformations are small, generally. I'm not making a statement here, but generally, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So can I approximate 1 over r by d square y by dx square? Yes. Now,
Yes.
so replace this 1 over r by d square y by dx square. Chalo. Now I was expecting all this is known to you. So we could have saved all this time. So I request you to revise.
Yes, sir.
So 1 over r is how much? Tell me. D square y by dx square. So
Yes,
can
sir.
I write mx as ei d square y by dx square?
Yes, sir.
E is constant with reference to x. I is constant with reference to x. Mx is changing with reference to x. And this is the governing differential equation for a beam. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So we call this as the governing differential equation for beam. But mind you, this is not the basic governing differential equation. If you would have learned Euler-Bernoulli theory for bending of beams, the basic governing differential equation, this equation will translate into another equation, which is fourth order differential equation. And how do we write that? So that equation लिखने के लिए हमें ये करना पड़ता है. देखो EI, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
D4y by dx square dx4 is equal to q. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Just give me a second.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not very sure about the sign. It will come out when we solve the problem. So I will write it as minus q. Are you with me? I
Yes,
hope
sir.
this is the correct governing differential equation. Let us see. EI d4y by dx4 is equal to minus q. And what is q? Q is the intensity of loading at x.
Yes, sir.
So it is in kilonewton per meter.
Per meter.
Are you with me? So
Yes,
it
sir.
is intensity of loading. Intensity of loading at x. Happy? It is also a function of x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell me how do we write this equation for this b? Let us try to write it out. Write it. So I am going to have EI as it is. Prismatic hai, so EI is not a function of x. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then we are going to have d4y by dx4. So what is d4y by dx4? It is the fourth derivative of y, which is this. Y is the deflected shape. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So fourth derivative of y with reference to x is given as EI d4y by dx square is equal to minus q. So minus of, what is q in our case? 10. Do you agree with me?
10. Yes, sir.
But if I were to choose the correct set of units, I want the forces to be in Newton and deflections to be in meter. So therefore, then I will write it as 10,000. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is 10,000 Newton per meter. I am choosing a defined system of units which I want. So minus 10,000. But this 10,000 itself, direction कौन से positive है बोलो? This is x positive, this is y positive. But this 10,000 is in downward direction. So I will have to add a negative sign here. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is the governing differential equation that I am going to have? EI d4y by dx square dx raised to 4
4.
is equal to 10,000. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Newton per meter. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, for fourth order differential equation, how many boundary conditions you are going to need? Tell me. Boundary conditions kitne chahiye? If you integrate it once, you are going to introduce one constant of integration. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you integrate it twice, two constants.
Two
For
constants.
having the solution of y as a function of x, you will have to integrate it 4 times.
4 times.
So you are going to end up with 4 constants.
Yes, sir.
So how do you obtain those 4 constants? So you need 4 boundary conditions. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us see how do we write these boundary conditions little later. Let us first integrate. If I integrate this equation once, what do I get? EI d cube y by dx cube. Do you agree with me?
Yes,
Is
sir.
equal to 10,000 into x plus C1. Right?
Yes, sir.
Let me integrate it once more. So what do I get? EI d square y by dx square is going to be equal to 10,000 x square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes,
Plus
sir.
C1x plus C2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Let us integrate it once more. EI dy by
dy by
dx
dx.
equal to 10,000 x cube by 6
6
plus C1 x
x square.
square by 2 plus C2
C2 into x.
plus C3.
C3.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Let us integrate it once more. So I get EI y. Now that's the solution. I get y as a function of x here. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
EI y is equal to 10,000 x raised to 4 by 24
24.
plus C1 x cube by 6 plus C2 x square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus C3x plus C4. And now the only job remaining is finding out this C1, C2, C3, C4. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, what is EI d square y by dx square? अभी तो हमने derive किया ना? What is
Yes,
EI
sir.
d square y by dx square? Bending moment.
Yes, sir.
What can you tell me about the bending moment at A and B?
So 0.
Right. So do we have two boundary conditions? Yes. What
Yes,
are
sir.
those what are those two boundary conditions? Uh, these are these are called as natural boundary. We will go into what something called as natural boundary conditions and essential boundary conditions little later. But uh, I know that bending moment at x equal to 0 and bending moment at x is equal to L. What is L?
L.
L is
4
4 meters.
meter.
That's why I have taken the numbers, because writing it in terms of L and all is very confusing and irritating. So M at x equal to 0 and at x equal to 4, this is 0. These are the two boundary conditions that I have. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I will replace this M at x by EI d square y by dx square. So what I have is EI d square y by dx square at two locations. These are 0. कौन से locations है? At x equal to 0 and at x equal to 4.
4.
It is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Can EI go on the other side? So what is the boundary condition essentially I am talking about? I am talking about a boundary condition. Just give me a second. So let me write down here. So what is the boundary condition? D square y by dx square. EI d square y by dx square. Happy?
Yes, sir.
At x equal to 0 is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But what is EI d square y by dx square? This is the formula. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
In right hand side, if I substitute x equal to 0, what do I get? Only
C2.
C2.
Yes, sir.
So what do I get from this boundary condition? C2 is 0.
C2 is equal to 0.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what is the next boundary condition? EI d square y by dx square at x equal to 4. is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This gives me what? So I'm going to substitute x equal to 4 here. So what is 4 square? That is 16. 16 by 2,
16.
8. Right?
Yes, sir.
So 80,000, 80,000. आगे चलो. X is equal to 4. So
4.
plus 4C1.
4C1.
And C2 तो वैसे भी 0 है.
0.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the value of C1? Can I get the value of C1 here? Tell me. How much
Just
is
a minute, sir. Just a minute, huh, sir.
minus 20,000?
Minus 20,000, right?
Right?
Yes, sir.
So the value of C1 is minus 20,000. Fine. Now, what are the other boundary conditions? Now, can you tell me what is the vertical deformation at A and B?
So 0.
Yes. So other boundary conditions are y is 0 at x equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
At x equal to 0 and at x equal to 4 meter. At both these locations, y is going to be equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us apply those boundary conditions. Where is the expression for y? This one is the expression for y. So if y is 0, EIY is also going to be 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I will just write that. So that is easy for us. So EIY at x equal to 0 and at x equal to 4 is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What does this boundary condition translate itself into? So जरा देखो EI dy by dx. Sorry, EIY. This is the expression.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Let me borrow this equation down here. This is the expression. तो इसमें अब जरा मुझे आप बताओ what is the value of C1?
So C1 will substitute as minus 20 into 10. I mean,
Minus 20,000.
yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the value of X? What is the value of C2?
0.
0. What is the value of C3 and C4? Not known. Are
Not
you
known.
with me? So
Yes,
can I
sir.
write now EIY as 10,000 divided by 24 x raised to 4 minus 20,000 divided by 6 into x cube plus C3x plus C4.
Yes, sir.
Now, at x equal to 0, we know that EIY is 0. That is the first boundary condition. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So in sequence, it is third one, but in this set, it is the first boundary condition. So EIY is 0. And if I substitute x equal to 0 on right hand side, what do I get? C4.
Yes, sir.
So I have got C4 equal to 0.
0.
Now at x equal to 4, also I have EIY equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So 4 4 चौक 16 चौक 64 चौक. So 4 चौक 16 4 सक 24 28 284 ऐसे होता है क्या? Anyway, I will not simplify that. 10,000 into 4 raised to 4 upon 24. Do you agree with me? This is the
Yes,
first
sir.
step. Minus 20,000 into 4 cube raised to 6. Right?
Yes, sir.
Plus 4C3. And C4 तो वैसे भी 0 है. So therefore, can I get the value of C3? Can you calculate and tell me the value of C3 quickly?
Yes, sir.
गलती
So
मत
it
करो.
is, yes, sir. It is 46,666.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
If it has to be positive, that means the second term should lead this term.
Yes, sir.
Then only it will go on the other side and become positive. Right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how much it is.
So it is 46,666.67. 67.
Okay, I need independent confirmation. Someone else has to calculate this and you have to unmute yourself and tell me that it's correct. Or you can reply in chat box. Is this value of C3 correct? Chalo, Medha, please calculate, let me know. I am waiting for response.
Yes, sir, just a minute.
So I'll also check it once.
Yes, please.
I think so. It might be incorrect because I have.
Yeah, so somebody said it is 26,666.67.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have substituted the first term into raised to 3. Now it's
Okay.
26,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is so what is the equation for y? Can you now tell me the answer? Chalo. So that's what we were looking for. We wanted to have the equation of deflected shape. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me write down the expression. So where should I write? Let us write it here. So what is the expression? EIY is equal to, yeah, tell me, 10,000 by 24 x raised to 4. 10,000 by 24 x raised to 4. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Minus 20,000. 20,000 by 6 x cube. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Plus C3x plus 26,666.67. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is the value of EIY. So what is the value of y? This is the solution. The value of y will be 1 upon EI into this expression. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to do a small exercise. I am going to consider various values of x. So let us consider x to be 0. Then we are going to consider x to be 0.5. Happy? Then x equal to 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 and 4. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And you are going to tell me the value of y. So calculate it. Tell me
Yes,
the
sir.
value of y. So इसके लिए y की वैल्यू हमें लिखनी है. y की वैल्यू में सब जगह पे 1 over ei तो आएगा ही. So whatever
Yes, sir.
value you say it is going to be multiplied by means this value multiplied by 1 over ei is sitting there. All the values are to be multiplied by 1 over ei. So can you tell me for 0 what is the value? Substitute x equal
So
to
it is
0.
26,666.67.
So that means we have made some mistake. हाँ x रह गया है ना इसमें. It
हाँ.
is C3 times x. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So x is pending here. So x. Okay. So all the values are to be multiplied by 1 over ei. So for x equal to 0, then value of y will be 0. Do you agree with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
So now substitute x equal to 0.5 and tell me what is the answer that you get.
Yes, sir.
तो एक कैलकुलेटर पे एक ही एक्सप्रेशन लिखना है, उसमें सिर्फ कैलकुलेट बोल के x की वैल्यू चेंज करते जाने. Are you with me?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope you know how to use the calculator for solving such repetitive expressions.
Yes, sir.
Others also can help me. Tell me the value for 0.5, x equal to 0.51, 1.5, so on and so forth. Which sign? So using solution for EIY at different locations of x, we have got these values of y. So in a way, we have now solved the problem. we have solved the governing differential equation. We have integrated it 4 times. We have applied the appropriate boundary conditions, and we have got the equation for deflected shape. You give me the value of x, and I will give you the value of 1. Now, there is another way of solving the same problem, and that is connected with the principle of minimization of potential energy, and the definition of potential energy itself involves the strain energy. So now we call this another approach of solving the same problem as variational approach. For example, you must be remembering the way in which you used to calculate the deformations in your structural analysis 1 and 2. So in structural analysis 1 and 2, you have used the way of integrating the governing differential equation in Macaulay's method, but in all other methods, you never integrated the governing differential equation. So in all other methods, we were using something called as variational principle, which we are going to look into now. And this variational principle dwells on minimization of potential energy and potential energy, and potential energy involves calculation of strain energy. So what we are going to do now is we are going to solve the same problem using variational principle, which involves the concepts of potential energy and strain energy. And then I'm going to show you that these two solutions at all these locations of x are exactly same, and therefore once the variational principle is satisfied, it automatically satisfies the governing differential equation. So with this background, now we are going to go into the variational principle, and for that we are going to first define something called as potential energy. Let us start our discussion with your understanding of potential energy. So can you tell me what is potential energy? Yes, Madhav. All can type their response in chat box. So I will read out those responses and let me check your understanding of potential energy. So what is potential energy? Yes, go ahead and respond in chat box. Yes, Madhav. You can either unmute yourself or you can respond in chat. Pardon? You were not clearly audible. Okay, if the energy stored in the body at the rest, that's what Madhav says. Anyone else? So what is potential energy? So let me say that it is stored energy. Stored energy. Anyone else? Please type your response in chat box. Everyone has to answer now. What is your understanding of potential energy? So if no one answers in the chat box, I will assume that no one is there and I will just close the meeting. Internal energy stored due to external work done. This is what Swapnil says. Internal energy stored due to external work done. Anyone else? Potential energy is stationary and depends on its position relative to other object. So potential energy depends on the position. That's what Anuja is saying. Others. So everyone else is absent. Can I assume that? Sumit. Supriya. Energy stored depends upon the position of the part of the body. So yes, this one. Sumit, can you type with the response in chat box? Sumit, Shubham, Farhat, Akshita. Sumit says it is energy in an object at rest. Potential energy is energy at rest. Anyone else? Vishal says potential energy is the energy that is stored in an object. So it is stored energy. Okay, great. Then Shubham says the energy. What is the answer by Shubham? Stored energy as a result of position. That's what Akshita says. Okay. The energy that is stored in an object due to position relative to some zero position. So yes, position related to some zero position. The energy stored in the body when work is done. That's what Pooja says. No, that's what Ganesh says. Okay. Energy stored by the object with respect to position relative to other objects. Okay. So most of you have tossed all these answers. Shubham Tekar says energy stored which depends upon the relative position. Okay. So I have written down most of the responses. Now there are some misconceptions and there are some inadequacies in the understanding regarding some of these words. So let us try to clear this. Stored energy or internal energy stored due to work done, this is strain energy. It is not a potential energy. So please remember that strain energy is different than potential energy. Somebody said that potential energy is on account of its position. Yeah, correct. Means I will give some credit to that answer. We will see what it exactly means in a while. Somebody said that potential energy is energy stored in the body when it is at rest, but that's not correct, because when pendulum is vibrating, then at each and every position it has two energies. One is potential energy and kinetic energy. So potential energy is definitely not only the energy stored in the body when it is at rest. No, that's not for sure. So the closest answer to the actual definition of potential energy that has been tossed is this, that it is the energy associated with the body on account of its position with reference to a chosen datum. That's what we can say at the best based on these responses. So let me ask you a simple question. Let us say there is a ball of mass m here at distance h from the ground. Can someone tell me what is the potential energy associated with this ball? And let us say we are on the earth. Type your response in chat box. What is the potential energy associated with this mass in this position? So I will call this as position A. Position A. Typically, the potential energy is represented by notation capital V. So potential energy associated with the ball at position A. Can you tell me how much is that? Please type your response in chat box. Yes. Go ahead. I am waiting for an answer. So most of you have answered the potential energy at position A of mass m is mgh. That's okay. Now let me ask you another question. This is the floor slab or this is the ceiling, and from ceiling this object is located at distance capital H. What is the potential energy associated with this object with reference to ceiling? Type your answer in chat box. So this is with reference to ground. What is the potential energy associated with an object with reference to a ceiling? Please type your answer in chat box. Again, I am waiting for the answer. Anuja, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the potential energy associated with reference to ceiling for the same mass, we have not moved anything. We have just changed the reference and it is minus mgh. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Why it is minus? Why the minus sign? Because now the object is below the reference. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So the potential energy associated with the object has not only changed in magnitude, it has also changed in sign. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
First of all, tell me, What do you mean by positive and negative sign to energy? Energy is energy. How do we assign sign to it? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, now we need to challenge our understanding of potential energy till now. First of all, if a energy of the object is just changing because the observer changes its position, then it's absurd. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Just because I was observing accident from different location than the other observer, the consequences are not going to be different. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
How can physics change based on the location of observer? At least in Newtonian mechanics. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, जिसको हम पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बोल रहे हैं, ये पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बड़ा खतरनाक टर्म है. It does not have a physical meaning as the other energies have. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
दूसरी चीज मैं बताता हूं. साइन भी चेंज हो रहा है, मैग्नीट्यूड भी चेंज हो रहा है पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का इफ यू चेंज द रेफरेंस. एंड दूसरी चीज, the energy has been given the sign for the first time in our lives. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
We have been told that the energy doesn't have sign. It is a scalar. It is a scalar quantity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What I mean is, it is a quantity which cannot have positive or negative. Energies don't have signs. It is the amount of, what you can say, the potential of work that is stored in the body by definition. So what is the meaning of sign here? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we understand that the potential energy therefore must not have a physical meaning. It must be a mathematical quantity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So point number one, unlike all the other things, all the other types of energies that we are acquainted with, potential energy in itself doesn't have a physical meaning. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, a quantity which does not have a physical meaning, why should it arise in the discussion where we are discussing the physical problems? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
अनुजा?
Yes, sir.
तो अब मैं आपको एक फिलोसॉफिकल क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ. जिस क्वांटिटी को अपना खुद का फिजिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन है ही नहीं, ऐसे वाली क्वांटिटी जो हम फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं, जिसका सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं, उसमें क्यों आए? आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
So clearly the starting point of solving any problem must not be potential energy. It cannot be potential energy. It has to be something else. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
तो वो what is that something else? उसके लिए हम एक thought experiment करेंगे. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I have a ball of mass m which is frictionless, which is resting on a frictionless surface. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is the position 1 of that ball. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to call this as position number 1. And the ball travels to position number 2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So during its travel, for its any intermittent position, can you draw its free body diagram? इसका फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बना सकते हैं या नहीं बना सकते, बताओ. Yes, Anuja.
Yes, sir. We can draw it.
And what is free body diagram?
You have to release it from the external force.
So free the body from all external agencies and show what the external agencies must have been doing. इसको हम बोलते हैं free body diagram. Do you agree with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
let me draw the free body diagram of this ball in the intermediate position. So in the intermediate position, is Earth external to the ball? Yes, Earth is external to the ball. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I release I free the ball from Earth, and I must show what the Earth must have been doing. So Earth must have been pulling it down by force mg. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Now, what else is external to this ball? This surface on which it is sliding is external. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And as this is the frictionless surface, it cannot offer any reaction along the tangential direction. It can offer the reaction only in the normal direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I show that normal reaction as n. Happy?
Yes, sir.
These are the two forces that are acting on this ball as it travels from 1 to 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
इसमें से ऐसा कौन सा फोर्स है जिसकी डायरेक्शन चेंज नहीं होती और ऐसा कौन सा फोर्स है जिसकी डायरेक्शन चेंज होती है फ्रॉम पॉइंट टू पॉइंट along the path 1 to 2?
So the force mg is going to be constant
Constant
and
in the sense it is not going to change its
is
direction.
not going to change in direction. And as compared to that, n the force which is acting normal will be changing
हाँ,
from position
तो
1 to
अब
2.
जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. What I am going to ask you is this question: What is the work done? देखो, work done by gravitational force. सिर्फ gravitational force के वजह से कितना काम हुआ है? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the work done by gravitational force as ball moves from position number 1 to 2? समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
चलो, tell me what is the work done by gravitational force as the ball moves from 1 to 2?
So mg and the total height.
हाँ, तो वर्क डन हम कैसे लिखते हैं बताओ मुझे. वर्क डन हम ऐसे लिखते हैं कि फोर्स मल्टीप्लाइड बाय डिस्प्लेसमेंट इन द डायरेक्शन
Yes,
ऑफ
sir.
द फोर्स. डू यू एग्री विद मी?
Yes,
तो
sir.
वैसे देखा जाए तो इस बॉल के बहुत सारे डिस्प्लेसमेंट है. इट इज गेटिंग डिस्प्लेस्ड इन एक्स डायरेक्शन एज वेल एज इट इज गेटिंग डिस्प्लेस्ड इन वाई डायरेक्शन. डू यू एग्री
Yes,
विद मी?
sir. Yes, sir.
बट mg के डायरेक्शन में कौन सा डिस्प्लेसमेंट है? टेल मी.
Y.
Y. So therefore, I'm going to be concerned only about its y directional motion as it moves from 1 to 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And therefore, with reference to a ground, I will say that this is y1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Y2, let us say.
Okay.
And this is y1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the work done by gravitational force as ball moves from 1 to 2? So it is denoted by capital U, work done by gravitational force. So I am denoting it by G as the ball moves from 1 to 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
How much is that? Tell me. mg
mg
y1
into
minus
y1.
y2.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
As y2 is below y1, therefore the mass is moving in downward direction. It is moving in the direction of mg. Therefore work done is positive.
Yes, sir.
अगर y2 y1 के ऊपर रहता तो automatically this sign would have been negative and the work done would have been negative because it is against the gravity. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the work done by gravitational force in moving the ball from 1 to 2 is given by mg y1 minus y2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And now we are going to repeat this exercise but along different path. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So now from 1 the object moves to 3. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
और ये डिस्टेंस कितना है? y3. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And then from 3 it moves to 2. So what is the path now?
It
Work
is
done
1,
by the
3, 2.
gravitational force, it goes from 1 to 3 and from 3 to 2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Can I write this work done as work done by the gravitational force as it moves from 1 to 3 plus work done by gravitational force as it moves from 3 to 2?
Yes, sir.
What is the work done by gravitational force as it moves from 1 to 3?
So it is
mg plus
mg
mg. क्या लिखूं?
y3
y1 minus y3.
y1 minus y3. Yes.
And y3 तो यहाँ पे ज्यादा है. Do you agree
Yes,
with
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
therefore it is going to be negative. That we understand. Are you with me? Because
Yes,
the
sir.
ball is going up. It is work done against the gravitational force. So it has to be negative. Happy?
Yes, sir.
But sign is automatically taken care of. Plus, बोलो क्या लिखूं?
So it should be mg y3 minus y2.
Simplify.
Yes, sir.
क्या हुआ बोलो?
mg by 2 mg by 3 mg by 3 gets cancelled and we get mg by 1, that is mg by 1 minus y2.
Right?
Yes sir.
Is it exactly the same as this?
Yes sir.
What is your observation? Stunning observation. The ball can go to other end of universe and come back as long as its initial position and final position are same. The work done by gravitational force is independent of the path. It depends only on initial and final position. Do you agree with me?
Yes sir.
Stunning. It can go to anywhere else at any other corner of the world and it can come back to position number 2 as long as the initial and final positions are 1 and 2. Work done by gravitational force during its travel along any path is going to be mg y1 minus y2. Happy?
Yes sir.
Such forces which do the work independent of the path followed and the work done by those forces depends only on the initial and final position of the object are called as conservative forces. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
क्या बोलते हैं हम इनको?
Conservative forces.
So what is being conserved? The work done is being conserved independent of path chosen as long as the initial and final position are same. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
तो कंजर्वेटिव फोर्सेस, अगर आप कंजर्वेटिव फोर्सेस के साथ काम करने वाले हो तो व्हाट इज द वर्क डन as the object moves from one position number 1 to 2? One of the conservative forces is gravitational force. What is the work done? Tell me. It is mgy1 minus mgy2. Do you agree with me?
Yes sir.
अब आप कौन सा भी पाथ फॉलो करो, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 to 2, 1 to 3 to 4 to 2. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
As long as your initial and final position is same, work done is going to be mgy1 minus mgy2. It
Yes sir.
involves only its height at position number 1 and position number 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes sir.
हाँ, तो अब जरा मुझे बताओ, ये वर्क डन बाय द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स, इज इट ए फिजिकल क्वांटिटी और नॉट?
Yes sir.
ये तो फिजिकल क्वांटिटी है. तो
Yes sir.
फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने की शुरुआत किसी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी से होनी चाहिए. इन दिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट द फिजिकल क्वांटिटी इज वर्क डन. आर यू
Okay sir.
ना कि
Yes sir.
पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. अब जो कि work done is dependent only on initial and final position of the object in case of gravitational force. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
और मुझे दिख रहा है कि I can replace this by a functional form mgy. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
दोनों जगह पे वैसे ही है, देखो. And I will call mgy1 as its potential energy at position number 1 and I will call mgy2 as its potential energy at position number 2. This is after thought. ये जो
Yes
एक्सप्रेशन
sir.
देखा, वो एक्सप्रेशन y1 और y2 के जगह पे सेम रह रहा है और उनका सब्ट्रैक्शन गिव्स मी ए फिजिकल क्वांटिटी व्हिच इज टर्म्ड एज वर्क डन बाय ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स. डू यू एग्री विथ मी?
Yes sir.
तो अब इंजीनियर्स और साइंटिस्ट शांति से बैठ नहीं सकते ना, तो नया कंसेप्ट लाया. कौन सा कंसेप्ट लाया? आई विल कॉल mgy एज ए पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. यू कॉल इट व्हाटएवर यू वांट, दैट इज यूजलेस क्वांटिटी. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes. Yes sir.
But the change in potential energy now is useful. That defines the physical quantity. Do you agree with me?
Yes sir.
अब आप यही काम रेफरेंस बदल के भी कर सकते हो. अभी रेफरेंस मैंने कौन सा लिया है? ग्राउंड. अगर मैंने ये सीलिंग रेफरेंस लिया और यही एक्सप्रेशन फॉलो किए, क्या करना है मुझे? पोटेंशियल एनर्जी विथ रेफरेंस टू सीलिंग एट पोजीशन नंबर 1 माइनस पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एट द पोजीशन नंबर 2 विथ रेफरेंस टू सीलिंग. मैंने किया, वो चेंज सेम रहता है. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes sir.
So change in potential energy now has a physical meaning of work done. Are you with me?
Yes sir.
For conservative forces, and that remains preserved irrespective of the reference that you have chosen. Happy?
Yes sir.
So point number 1, potential energy doesn't have any physical meaning. Point number 2, change in potential energy from point number 1 to point number 2 gives you the work done by the force for which you are writing the potential energy. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes sir.
तो अगर पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का आपका आंसर mgh है, that is useless. That is potential energy associated with gravitational force. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का खुद का ऐसा कोई डेफिनेशन है ही नहीं. पोटेंशियल एनर्जी associated with which force? You have to give me a conservative force जिसके साथ पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एसोसिएटेड हो, उसके लिए मैं पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का एक्सप्रेशन आपको बता सकता हूं. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
Potential energy is expression for gravitational force. When I write the potential energy for gravitational force, I have to first ensure that gravitational force is conservative. अगर conservative नहीं है तो potential energy नहीं लिख सकते, because
Yes,
it
sir.
defeats the purpose. Potential energy लिखना ये purpose नहीं है. We have to find out the work done as the body moves from 1 to 2 by a particular force. ये purpose है. If that force is conservative, I can write down this work done as a subtraction of potential energies. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, when I say potential energy, I have to specify for which force I am writing that. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So potential energy वैसे देखा जाए तो सिर्फ ये वर्ड यूजलेस, इसका फिजिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन कुछ भी नहीं. Potential energy has to be associated with a conservative force, then it gets some meaning. Then also potential energy at a position associated with gravitational force has no meaning. Change in potential energy has a physical meaning of work done by gravitational force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This was the summary. Now let us repeat this exercise for another type of force, which is called as spring force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो अब जरा पहले ये असर्टन करते हैं कि इज स्प्रिंग फोर्स कंजर्वेटिव. हैप्पी?
Yes, sir.
क्या देखने वाले हैं कि स्प्रिंग फोर्स कंजर्वेटिव है कि नहीं. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
Now let us say this is the unstretched position of the spring or uncompressed position of the spring. मतलब ये ओरिजिनल लेंथ है स्प्रिंग का. हैप्पी?
Yes, sir.
This becomes my origin. ये origin है. Happy?
Yes, sir.
With reference to this origin, now I am going to keep track of the position of this mass, which I denote it by x. Happy?
Yes, sir.
I am going to call this position as 1. Let me call this position as 2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
At position number 2, the value of x is x2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Let me call this position as 3. So at 3, the value of x is x3. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And in general, for any intermediate positions between 2 and 3, I am going to denote the position as x. So x changes from x2 to x3 in this particular example. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, when the mass is at position number 2, does it experience a spring force or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because it is stretched. The spring is stretched. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And when it goes to position number 3, then also the spring is stretched. Can you tell me what will be the spring force at position number 2? Position number 2 का spring force क्या होगा? बताओ.
So it would be change. It is x minus x2.
It will be just simply x2 because
Yeah. Okay.
in
Yeah.
position
Right.
number 1, the spring is unstretched. Do you agree
Yes,
with
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
it is
sir.
going to be k times x2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And in which direction is it going to act?
Positive.
What positive and what negative? We have not defined.
Yeah. We have not
This is
usually.
positive. So in which
Right.
direction does the spring force act? At position number 2.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
So positive.
How? You have stretched the spring. The spring will try to pull the block
Okay.
back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Negative.
So therefore, at this position, you have a spring force which is equal to k times x2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What will be the spring force at position number 3?
X3. That is k x3.
Very good. And during the motion of block of mass m from position number 2 to position number 3, does the spring force remain constant or does it change?
Constant.
Are you
K
are
is
contradicting yourself.
spring. So
kx2.
K is spring constant, na?
हाँ, तो
Okay. Okay.
kx2 is the force at 2. Kx3 is the force at 3. Is it safe?
Okay. No, sir. No, sir.
So as you go on stretching the spring from position number 2 to position number 3, the spring force is changing continuously. Do you agree
Yes,
with me?
sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
the extension in the spring is changing.
Yes,
This
sir.
is different than the gravitational force. Gravitational force to bechara constant tha. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
As the mass moved from position number 1 to 2, gravitational force was cool. It was sitting there without any change. But the spring force is not so. It is changing. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
सो पोजीशन नंबर 2 से पोजीशन नंबर 3 तक ये स्प्रिंग फोर्स चेंज हो रहा है. अब मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूं कि व्हाट इज द वर्क डन बाय दिस स्प्रिंग फोर्स व्हिच आई एम गोइंग टू कॉल इट एज यूके. K stands for spring force. This is linear elastic force, linear elastic spring, so I can also call it as elastic force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the work done by this spring force, which is not constant? It is changing from point to point along uh, from position number 2 to position number 3. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the work done in moving the object from 2 to 3 is the question that I am asking. Are you with me? Are you
Yes,
getting the
sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
So
So it is.
we are dealing with a force which has varying magnitude.
Yes, sir.
Difficult. कैसे करेंगे? तो अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूं जरा देखो. I have considered any intermittent position of the mass x. Happy?
Yes, sir.
At this position x, can you tell me what is the spring force?
Sir, K into X.
K into x, right? And
Yes,
let
sir.
us say the mass moves towards right by distance dx. कितने distance से move हुआ? Dx से move
DX.
हुआ. And when it moved from dx, dx is infinitesimally small. Dx is so small such that over which the change in spring force can be neglected.
Yes, sir.
X and x plus dx are almost same. So therefore, change in spring force is not going to occur as the block moves from x to x plus dx. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अब मुझे बताओ ये जो स्प्रिंग फोर्स है kx उसके वजह से एज द मास मूव्स फ्रॉम x to x plus dx, व्हाट इज द वर्क डन? बताओ.
X plus DX. So it is going to be.
अच्छा, फोर्स के डायरेक्शन में कितना मूव हुआ? dx जितना मूव हुआ. डू यू एग्री विद मी?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
और फोर्स की मैग्नीट्यूड क्या है? kx.
KX.
But is it moving in the direction of kx or it is moving against the direction of kx?
Against.
So I have to introduce minus sign.
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So minus kx dx is the work done by the spring force as the mass moves from x to x plus dx. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I have to find out what is the work done by spring force when it moves from x2 to x3, I will have to integrate.
Yes, sir.
So integrating it in the limits x2 to x3 is going to give me the work done by the spring force as the object moves from position number 2 to 3.
Yes, sir.
What is the work done? Tell me. Minus
Minus K.
kx square
Hmm.
by 2.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is x2, this is x3. So can you tell me what it is? Minus kx3 square by 2 minus kx2 square by 2. This minus sign can come inside and it will become kx2 square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Minus kx3 square by 2. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
This is the work done by spring force as the object moves from 2 to 3. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Now I am going to ask you to do another thought experiment. Instead of moving from 2 to 3 directly, the object moved from 2 to 4. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is position number 4. So this is x4. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So the object moved from 2 to 4 and it came back from 4 to 3. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So work done by the spring force as the object moves from 2 to 4 and then from 4 to 3. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how should I split this? Work done by the spring force as the object moves from 2 to 4 plus work done by the spring force as the object moves from 4 to 3.
4 to 3.
What is the work done by the spring force when object moves from 2 to 4? यहाँ पे देखो, won't it be kx4 square by 2
Yes, sir.
minus kx2 square by 2? Do you
Yes,
agree
sir.
with me?
Yes, sir.
और यहाँ 4 to 3, so यहाँ 2 to 3 को मुझे 4 to 3 से रिप्लेस करना है, so it is going to be plus. बोलो क्या होगा?
kx3 square by 2 minus kx4 square by 2.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
Simplify. So when I simplify, to my surprise, क्या कैंसिल होने वाला है?
x4 and x4 gets cancelled,
And then
kx3 square by 2 minus kx2 square by 2.
as the object moves from 2 to 4 to 3. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
And is it exactly the same as the work done by the spring force when object directly moved from 2 to 3?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
नहीं, क्या गड़बड़ हुई है?
Sir, ulta ho gaya. It is opposite.
हाँ,
Like
so,
the first term is x2 in the 2 to 3 expression.
right? So are they same?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that means even spring force, to my surprise, is a force which is conservative in nature. The work done by the spring force does not depend on the path followed. It depends only on
Yes,
the
sir.
initial and final positions. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अभी ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स के तर्ज पे ही मुझे अगर पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का एक्सप्रेशन स्प्रिंग फोर्स के लिए लिखना है तो मैं कैसे लिखूं? सो टू मी आई विल have the expression for potential energy as kx square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So the work done by the spring force in moving the object from one position number 1 to 2 will be potential energy at position number 1. So it will be k1 kx1 square by 2 minus potential energy at position number 2 kx2 square by 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the expression for potential energy associated with the spring force? It is kx square by 2.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
agree with me? तो
Yes,
अब
sir.
जरा देखो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का हमेशा हमारा नोशन क्या रहता है? It is mgh.
Yes, sir.
But that is potential energy associated with gravitational force, which is conservative in nature.
Yes,
What
sir.
is the potential energy associated with spring force? It is kx square,
kx square.
where x is the stretch or contraction in the spring. Whether x is positive if it is stretch, x is negative if it is contraction, but kx square है तो it doesn't matter. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So हमें दो एक्सप्रेशंस मिल गए दो फोर्सेस के लिए, एक है स्प्रिंग फोर्स और दूसरा है ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स. दोनों के लिए हमें पोटेंशियल एनर्जी के एक्सप्रेशंस मिल गए. So we have started understanding the potential energy. So what are our observations? When can I define potential energy associated with a particular force? Only if that force is conservative. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
You can prove to yourself that frictional force is not conservative in nature. It is path dependent, and therefore there is no expression for potential energy associated with frictional force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So all the forces which are conservative in nature can have their own expression of potential energy. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Potential energy in itself doesn't have any meaning. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Change in potential energy, however, talks about the work done by the conservative force with which that potential energy was associated in moving the object from position number 1 to position number 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ग्रेट. सो दिस वाज पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. अब इसमें जरा देखो, ये जो स्प्रिंग फोर्स मैं बता रहा हूं, इज इट वेरी सिमिलर टू द स्ट्रेन एनर्जी? What is strain energy? Strain energy is the energy stored in the object on account of its elasticity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So external work आपने rubber के, let us say you have eraser in hand and you compress it by some amount. External work is done. That external work is stored in the form of strain energy in that rubber. Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
And when I remove the force, the rubber may regain its original shape and size based on how much strain energy has been stored in the body. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If exactly the same amount of strain energy as the work done by external force is stored in the body, it will regain its original shape and size. If some of the work done is lost into heat, then on partial work done is stored in the form of strain energy, then recovery also will be partial. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So यहाँ पे भी वैसे ही देखो, as I stretch the spring and I release it, it regains its original position on account of the energy stored in the body on account of spring force. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
जरा इसके यूनिट्स देखो क्या है. kx square, k का यूनिट क्या होता है? न्यूटन पर मीटर. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the unit of x square? Meter square.
Meter square.
So what is the unit of kx square? It is Newton meter.
Newton meter.
Is it the unit of work done or energy? Yes.
Yes, energy.
So therefore, though I have called it here as a potential energy, in most of the cases in structural engineering, we have a special term for it and we call it as strain energy. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So strain energy, that is potential energy associated with the spring forces, is in fact the part of the total potential energy. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
A body may have its total potential energy derived from various forces, like a spring force. जो spring force से potential energy store होता है, उसको हम strain energy कहते हैं. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then we can have potential energy on account of its gravitation location in gravitational field. उसको हम थोड़ी ना कहेंगे कि वो strain energy है. वो तो gravitational potential energy. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So you will have to understand that this strain energy is a subset of potential energy. Potential energy is strain energy plus something. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And what is that something? That's what we are going to write now. We are going to write down potential energy associated with this beam. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And then we are going to learn something called as principle of minimization of potential energy, which is essential for achieving the equilibrium. If principle of minimization of potential energy is satisfied, the governing differential equation automatically gets satisfied. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
It is easy to deal with minimization of potential energy rather than integrating the governing differential equation 4 times. That's why we often use variational principle or principle of minimization of potential energy to arrive at the deformed shape of this body. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So we are going to close today with this remark. अभी हमने potential energy क्या है वो समझा. We understood that potential energy is strain energy plus something. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Strain energy is the potential energy associated with the spring force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
यहाँ तक हमने समझा है. But now in next class we are going to write down the potential energy associated with this beam. Happy?
Okay, sir.
In its deformed configuration, and then we are going to find out the equation for deformation. तो अब जरा देखो ये सबका finite element से क्या लेना देना वो मैं आपको बताता हूँ. So the finite element formulations, they are based on two approaches. One approach is solving or integrating the governing differential equation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Integrate governing differential equation. इसको बोलते हैं direct integration method. So in finite element formulation, we depict a particular physical problem by its governing differential equation and then we integrate straight away. उसके based जो formulation होता है उसको हम बोलते हैं direct integration method. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
और दूसरा एक फॉर्मुलेशन रहेगा जिसमें we will use principles like minimization of potential energy. Minimization principle is essentially a variational principle. What does it mean? I will tell you later. But there are finite element formulations which take into account minimization of something. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Or maximization of something. Those are called as variational approaches. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Variational calculus deals with maxima and minima of quantities. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So ये दो तरीके से हम finite element formulation कर सकते हैं. Now you may have a physical problem in your hand जिसके लिए governing differential equation तो है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
But there is no corresponding minimization or maximization principle. मतलब है ही नहीं. तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? You don't have other way than using direct integration method for finite element formulation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So there are some problems in the nature which translate themselves into differential equations for sure. Differential equations में तो translate होते हैं, लेकिन there is no corresponding minimization or variational principle available. तो आपको कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, आपको finite element formulation direct integration method से ही करना पड़ेगा. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And then you have certain set of problems, typically structural engineering problems, where you have governing differential equation as well as corresponding minimization principle, which is called as minimization of potential energy or variational principle. तो आप फाइनाइट एलिमेंट फॉर्मुलेशन या तो डायरेक्ट इंटीग्रेशन मेथड से कर सकते हो या वेरिएशनल मेथड से कर सकते हो. कौन सा इजी है? वेरिएशनल मेथड वाला इजी है.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you with me? So
Yes, sir.
therefore, we are going to learn both these formulations, but we are going to start with variational approach first. And
Yes, sir.
to have confidence in you that this variational approach automatically guarantees automatically guarantees that the governing differential equation is satisfied. इसके लिए हम ये एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं. Are you with me?
Yes,
This
sir.
problem I am going to solve by variational approach, and I am going to show you that the deformations that I find by variational approach are exactly the same that we found using solving governing differential equation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is the place where we are going to stop today. Have a good day. अगर किसी को कुछ डाउट है तो पूछो. Now I am going to mark your attendance in the class. So please don't leave the classroom. Please be there. Let me open ERP.